Hey guys, welcome back. So we're gonna create a new world for this character, and maybe what I'll just call this is like YT uh, YT vids, I guess. So I know this is for my my videos, and I'll go enter. So we have that world selected, but in this world, I want to make sure that it's online, so available for other players to join. And it's also peaceful, so creatures will not attack you, but fight back if attacked. That sounds good. And yeah, let's go into the world. So I've got the world selected, as you can see. So it's on YT world, and I'll press start. So the game will start loading the world, or start building this world. And let's just wait for this to load up. Again, this is running on medium settings. I really shouldn't be vaping, considering I just pulled the tooth out, but whatever. So while the game loads, you're gonna get an introductory of what's happening in the world right now. And I'll try and see if I can perhaps fast forward this bit here. So it's just showing you the load time for the new world being created. What I have found is medium settings aren't that bad, so here we go. So it looks like it didn't give me the introductory tutorial, which is pretty weird, but I'll just quickly take you guys through that. So pretty much, if you push down on the left stick, when you start the game off originally, I'm gonna take you guys back there, show you guys where you're gonna start. So we'll ignore all of these guys for now, and we'll work our way back up there. So you'll see stamina goes if you run, and I actually want to take you guys to the actual starting point, so you guys get a bit of a view of what is going on, where you'll be starting. So technically, when the game starts, you start right here. So this is the starting point of where the game brings you, and you start over here, and it's quite a beautiful world. As you can see, it's running on medium graphics, and it's not that bad. It's running at a GPU of like 90, 80. It kind of jumps around there. Frames are still pretty good at 30 frames per second, even with medium settings. So just to show you guys that. If you go to graphics, you'll see it's set to medium right there. So that's really good. And we'll continue. So when you start the game off the first time, you look around with the right stick, and then you move with the left stick. This is all out of the box. This is not using any specific protons. This is working directly off the bat with SteamOS, which is really cool. So you can run forward, really pretty world. And you'll notice the GPU, changing the whole time in some frames per second, just depending on the areas. I still think it's playable. Come to the first guy, you press Y, which is your action button, and tasked with meeting all vanguards. It's giving you a bit of an introduction to the story, and you can just press A. Keep an eye out for these owl effigies. They are scattered throughout the area and provide useful hints and tips. Okay, continue. I'll tell you find Captain Herney. It'll help you on your first day outside the burrows. Thank you. Okay, you come to the owl and you just press Y, and these owls start giving you tips and tricks of what you need to do in the world. And that's how you kind of, get through everything and start to learn the game. So you press the left button, the LB button, to engage antenna mode. That's what it's called, antenna mode, in order to help you spot harvestable resources. So we're gonna use antenna mode now. So you'll see there's some twigs here, all right? At the moment, you can just gather them with Y, because there's no tools we have built. To get to your inventory, you press this button right here, and you'll see that out of the bat, they give you some mushroom steak, they give you some simple bandages, and they give you a wooden club. So let's move the wooden club up to number 1. So you press A to select it, press up on the D-pad right here, press A again, it'll drop it there. So the bandages, I don't want to put up there. I usually like to take my food and have it like at the 5th slot, because these slots here for 2, 3, and 4 are usually like weapons and stuff like that, or tools. And the bandages one is not so important right now, but we'll slot it into number 6. Okay, so let's gather these resources. So when you gather resources without any tools, you only pick up 2. So if I go gather, I think it's two stacks or something like that. Let me just pick this up. So I can now, you'll notice I can unlock the wooden hatchet, wooden club. So I've picked that up. And if I go into my inventory right now, I will see them right there. It's actually 3. So I've only picked up 3. So 1, 2, 3, that's just normal gathering. I know it's really small on the camera, but it's just 3. So I can now go to crafting. So on the top here, I know I've got this overlay here, but there's the LB button and the RB button. If you go RB, you go into crafting, and we can look at some tools we can craft. So we can craft the wood hatchet, we can do the club, builder's hammer, torch, and firefly torch. All right, we don't have enough resources right now. So let's go back into antenna mode, and then we can see the sprout. These resources do self-generate over time, so let's be aware of that. And we'll quickly just gather this, and you'll see I've picked up 2. So now I can do the builder's hammer, and there's some more wood here. But before I do that, let's just quickly jump back into crafting. Can I craft anything? No, I'm still short, so we'll just gather some more. So remember, you're only picking up like 1 or 2, right? But when you get a weapon, you can actually pick up a lot more. So that's something to be aware of. All right, let's move forward. And I'll try and keep this video at 10 minutes. So right here, if I press the antenna mode, which is the LB button, the first top button, this is resin, so I can gather that. So gather that, it falls into the floor. I can now make fire arrows. So as you start picking up stuff in the world, you're pretty much going to start, getting these options pop up on the side here of what you can build and what you can do. Again, this is a survival build crafting game, so let's keep that in mind. Let's talk to this owl quickly. So they give useful pieces of advice. This info will automatically be logged in your compendium, which you can access anytime from the inventory menu. So this will take you here to the inventory menu. You can just close that. Let's move forward. Another owl to talk to. I don't think there's any more resources down there. Did I not collect that wood? Looks like I didn't. So if I press the owl, yeah, so it's actually twigs. Let me just quickly gather that. And before we move up, let's just quickly go into inventory, go into crafting, and then we will quickly craft a hatchet. So let's press A, and there's the hatchet right there. We go back into inventory. I should have just used the LB button there. Press A, and I've got it selected. Now I can move it to a slot. So we'll move it to number 2 and press A, and that's my hatchet. So now to get the hatchet, you just use the D-pad, and you can see it's, it starts to shift from 1 to 2 and so forth. And to activate it or to enable it, you just press up on the D-pad, and now my hatchet's out. Now, when you start with a wood hatchet, if you start breaking down things, you get a lot more resources. So let's talk to this owl. So he tells you about opening up your inventory to select the codex to help you track all the workstation items and craft, and also armor by speaking to small folk. All right, great, that's great. And let's go up here. If I do that, I now see some more twigs and resin. So watch what happens now with my hatchet selected. So that's not selected. Selected, it's got that kind of light gray background. Unselected, selected. And if I chop this now, oops, I get 20, look at that. So the tool allows you to pick up a lot more, which is great. You can't chop resin, but you can pick up resin. So just keep that in mind. There's nothing else. Oh, there is some sprouts here. So I guess we can chop that, get an extra 20 of that, which is really cool. So we can build more stuff. Okay, and there's an owl here as well that I missed. The burrow is extensive networks. It tells you about the tunnels, the caverns. This is the home for small folk. The tunnels are incredibly with multiple levels. So it's just pretty much telling you the story right now. Nothing major. You can go into antenna mode and just see there's some resin to pick up here, and we'll just collect these resins. And as you start talking to people, they have of small folk, I should say. They have their own stories, and you're just going to hear their stories. So I can talk to these guys by pressing Y, and it's like food at here has become pretty stale, blah, blah, blah. So you start talking to them and you start building up the story. These things here you can pick up, so insect eggs, you can just pick them up and it all goes into your inventory. So you'll see it's there now. And I am sheltered, so that's the status icon right there, because I'm undercover, right? So the cover's over me, but I'm underground, so to speak. So these guys are here, and you can talk to them and just get a bit of a story if you want to. I'm just going to try and move along a little faster here for you guys. I'll leave you guys to talk to them. These items here you can't pick up. but you can talk to the sentinel units. Talks about the sacred owl. This guy is talking about good luck in the overland, and you're pretty much going out now. So this is the first area. Have you heard about the queen? And there's some really good stories here if you want to read that. They unfortunately aren't voice acted, but you know, it's still good. Still good stories. And yeah, we're coming out. So I think this is pretty much where I'm going to end this video as part 2. And we shall continue from there on the next one. So I'll just quickly grab this. Hiyo! Okay. All right, guys. So we made it outside the world, and I will catch you guys on the next one.